Roll Tide Bama fans, what's going on? It's your boy Mizzy, and I'm back to break down yesterday's game with Bama and Eastern Illinois playing at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Man, it was a dominant victory that we kind of all knew. That's why I didn't put out a prediction video because I was like, man, if Alabama lost this game, the season was completely over. I just knew we was winning. So it was a 56-0 game. I'm gonna get a couple of key points and then get out of here, man. Ty Simpson, he was 11 for 16, 147 yards, 2 INTs. The interception at the end of the half, I really don't count against him because that's one of the ones the clock is running down, you just throwing it up there, maybe you get a touchdown. But it gets intercepted. But the one interception that it was like in the middle of the field, you can't give up that one, Ty. You can't. I think at first when I seen it, I thought he didn't see the guy. I think he thought that he could get it over the guy's head, and but he didn't realize how great of an athlete he was because the guy came right up, intercepted, and you can't make no mistakes because yes, you was playing Eastern Illinois, but when you're playing other teams, that's giving somebody good field positions so now they can capitalize on it. Like I said, we knew the defense was dominating, so it wasn't a concern of a losing this game. But like I say, man, Ty Simpson, he has a lot to clean up. I think probably the past month I feel like ever since the Tennessee game to right now, the offense has been just in a struggle. Because to tell the truth, this offense, and I said it earlier in the year, man, with all the weapons, this offense should have been scoring 40 some games, 50. Like they've missed on plays. Like I say, sometimes it's been Ty Simpson, sometimes it's been the wide receivers dropping. For whatever reason, the timing has been off on some of the deep, explosive plays, and you got to catch them in. And like I say, you got a tough game coming up this week versus Auburn. But anyways, like I say, man, Ty Simpson, he got to clean that up. You know, he's had a turnover. Like I say, of course, his interception numbers are low, but he's had I don't know if I want to say fumble problem. You know, he didn't have one this week, but he has had problems putting the ball on the ground, fumbling. He hasn't thrown a lot of interceptions, but of recent, he has thrown a couple picks. And the fumbles, he's had a couple fumbles. Like I said, the Missouri game, I know he had one last week. It's been a couple games that when he's not watching or having that clock in his mind and knowing I got to get rid of the ball. And like I said, somebody comes around side, clock you, and then the ball's on the ground. But yeah, Ty, we got to clean it up. But then we got to see Austin Mack a little bit. He came in. He was 5 for 5. Look solid. You could tell, if anybody was watching these games, you could tell Ty Simpson, as far as the three quarterbacks, he's probably the least athletic quarterback. I think if they was going to start a guy based on just talent, it definitely would have been between Keelan and Mack. I think Keelan is probably the most talented passer, but Mack just physically, like I said, I think the guy's like 6'6". But you know, I understand with the coaches, you know, you go with a quarterback that's been for a while. This was his junior year, I think, if I'm not, correct me in the comments. I think it was his junior year. And, you know, Ty, like I say, he's been he's learned a lot of stuff. A lot of times you just don't want to put a young guy in there that don't know the offense as well. I just know, like I say, learning the system. And you're like, man, look, we know this guy talent. We're going to let Keelan Russell and Matt sit back and learn. But like I said, Matt was 5 for 5 passing. Only passed for not that many yards, but he had a big explosive rushing touchdown. I think it was over 20 yards. Like I said, 6'6" and can move like that. It do have you sometimes wonder, like, dang, I wonder what would this offense be with another guy at the helm, another guy throwing the ball. I don't think we're going to see that this year unless Ty Simpson gets injured or Ty Simpson just has a horrible game and Kalen DeBoer just benches him. But then we have Keelan Russell come in. He was 7 for 9, 78 yards. I thought Keelan looked good. I don't think they had they did get a rushing touchdown. It was one drive. I think it was a fourth down. He had the running back in the flat, didn't catch him, and like I say, missed him. But you know, Keelan's a young quarterback, but one thing you could tell, that guy is super talented, super talented. The way the ball comes out is quick, accurate. You can just tell how his potential is sky high. And you know, another thing, this game, Jam Miller, he had 11 carries, 62 yards. The whole team this for yesterday had 49 carries, 269 yards, and that's all well, guys. But we know the level of competition wasn't nowhere near what we'll be playing if we take care of business in the regular season versus Auburn, and what we'll see in the playoffs. But so I don't want to hear about, oh, Ryan Grubb committed to running the ball. Look, plenty of people would have run against who we played yesterday, but I just still, I don't know, man. I'm still wondering why Daniel Hill is not getting the carries. Like I say, Daniel Hill, he got 2 carries. I feel like it was he averaged maybe, it might have been 18 yards for 2 carries or something. But like I say, Jam, I don't know. They just want to force Jam to be the starting back. And I just think we got better options. I think Daniel Hill is a better option. And tell the truth, I like Kevin Riley. I know Riley is a smaller back, speed back, more of a catch out of the backfield, but I think the guy has great vision. The way, like I said, he sees the lane, cuts back. And then like I said, the guy Deer, I think you watch him and he looks explosive. I think it's just some players on the team that's getting underutilized. Like, you know, early and midway in the season, Isaiah Horton. What happened? We was using Isaiah Horton well. Now all of a sudden he has been like I said, he's been underutilized in the playbook. And sometimes I'm just wondering what Ryan Grubb offensive philosophy is. Like sometimes it just seems like you're like, okay, we're doing this trick play, we're doing motion. It just seems like Ryan Grubb, I don't know. It just seems like sometimes he's been struggling, especially the past couple games with the play calling. And like I say, yes, I know the players got to execute, but something's off script. Something's off. They're not mean, and like I said, being a marriage as far as the calling the plays and being executed, whatever the reason is, you got to clean it up. But then another thing I seen is, and I think that Coach DeBoer spoke on it in a press conference. Ryan Grubb, he was on the sideline this game instead of being in the press box. I don't know if that's just for face value to seem like, okay, I'm taking it more serious or what, or just like he feels like, man, I need to go down here and talk to these guys, and when stuff going bad, really they see me and communicate with them that way instead of being in the box. Like I say, either way is fine with me. I don't have a big problem with it. But like I said, for whatever reason, the offense just hasn't been connected. So, like I said, we got to get on the same page. As far as the defense, man, the defense played phenomenal. The defense only gave up 30 yards. Man, like I said, man, Kane Womack was getting criticized early in the season. But to tell the truth, the defense has been carrying this team for a couple months now. And like I say, Tim Keenan, man, he looks 100% back healthy. The defense is flying around. You got guys punching balls out. The defense looks explosive. They look fast and ready to play in the playoffs. But I'm worried about this offense, guys. I gotta admit, I'm very worried about this offense. It's just too many times they leaving plays on the field. And I know when it comes down to crunch time and you gotta make a play, you can't do that. You got to capitalize. You got to get in the end zone. You can't be turning the ball over. You can't be having fumbles. You can't be playing mistake football. Like I say, I'm glad that this year it seemed we cleaned up some of the offensive penalties. But as far as like holding and, a lot of the stuff we was getting, being on the road and stuff like that. But I don't know, guys. Like, I'm still like this team, but I don't know how I feel about them as far as winning the championship. I think they still have a great chance, but this offense has to get on the same page. They have to. Because like I said, man, it's going to become a game that your defense is going to give up 35 points. And they're going to need you to go out there and win them that game. It's not going to be all the time that, oh, man, the defense got like Tennessee, the defense got a pick six. It's going to come a game that the offense is going to have to win the game. And like I said, man, Ty Simpson, Ryan Grubb, Ryan Williams, everybody on the offense has to come together and play a complete game. because I don't think this offense has played a complete game all year. It's not one in my mind that I can think like, okay, this offense from the beginning to end played a great game. The Georgia game, they played great in the first half. Second half, didn't score none. So, like I said, the Vandy game, it was up and down. It's just too much up and down and not enough fluidity for me in the offense right now. So, like I said, man, I still love this team. But like I say, man, Bama, we got to get better. You got to get better. And Coach DeBoer, look, just because a guy is starting doesn't mean he has to keep that starting position. If he's not playing well, get another guy in there who's going to play well. We can't just be favoring players because whatever they're making in the NIL and we're scared they're going to transfer, whatever. Like I said, man, you got to put the best players on the field. So, like I said, man, I love this team still, but I just got some questions on some things, guys. Hopefully they clean it up. But anyways, guys, I catch you next time. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Hey, man, share this with any Bama fan. Yeah, y'all friends with you. Like, hey, man, go check out my guy Mizzy page. And I appreciate y'all. Catch you next time.